Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, guys. I really wish I could have understand the last talk, but I couldn't. But the few things I understood from the last talk is um, the guy here was talking about Shri Ram and something to drop out of colleges, right? Yes. Technically, it can be a coincidence at times, but not necessarily it will work. Okay? Just something before, making a start. Hi guys, my name is Nipun Jaswal. He spoke Jaishwal or something. That is not correct. My name is Nipun Jaswal. I am an international author. I have authored 8 English and 3 Chinese books. Thank you. What I really, my expertise really lie in is offensive side of security. Most of the people, uh, guys, a little bit of silence. This is gonna be a very interactive technical session. I am not pretty fond of giving basic talks, but this is one of my first tries. I'm trying to, deliver a session which is a really basic one. Guys, my expertise lies in offensive side of security, where we actually have to hack people. Not to defend it, but to hack it. So we are talking about, the national security agencies I have worked with in the past. I have been working in this field for over 10 years now. Okay. And I have worked with law enforcement agencies, not from only from India, but from abroad as well. Things can be hacked. Yes, it is the case. Mobile phones, somebody, even Rakshit sir mentioned in his talk that, okay, you install an antivirus, you install security software, make sure what permissions you give to particular applications before understanding that, okay, this application might sound malicious or not. But are you already hacked or not? That is the question. Have you not given these permissions to your Google applications, your Twitter, your Facebook? See, there are two kind of people in this world. One who are hacked, the others who don't know they are. Okay? So that is basically the agenda of my talk today, that how people get compromised. It is a little bit of a technical session where we'll touch upon few things that how people can, actually get hacked, doing stuff and so on and so forth. But what really changed over all these years is the main agenda. Initially, if you wanted to hack someone over mobile or over laptops, you used to send them executable files. How many of people actually use computers here? Everyone. And what about the rows in the back? Come on, guys. How many of you actually use computers? Windows 7, Windows 10. Okay. How many of you have worked on Windows XP? Once in your life. Amazing. Windows 7 and Windows 10. Very good. See, let me tell you this. This is not 90s. This is not the year 1995 or 1992. Hacking used to be very, very easy in all those years. Today, if you want to hack somebody, it is not as easy as just click a button and just press few keystrokes on your laptop and everyone will get access to you. No, 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 no. That's never gonna happen. You have to be the culprit at times. You even have to, let's say, I'm sending you a link, you visit that link on your browser, you get hacked. I send you an application, you install it on your phone, install it on your laptop, you get hacked. I send you a simple script that you run in your CMD, you get hacked. What is a CMD? Command prompt. Very nice. Yes. Command prompt. And this is one of my expertise as well, hacking Windows. How do we manipulate Windows, doing a lot of, cutting edge stuff over Windows, API calls, so on and so forth. That technical jargon you don't understand now, but someday you will. My talk's agenda is to jumpstart your career in cyber security because this is the time, okay? It is not just about awareness. Let's keep on doing awareness, keep on doing, keep on teaching people that how aware you should be in cybersecurity, because this is the time, guys. Let's say if you won't do it today, you can never understand it later. Let's say if people who have started, I guess, 10 years earlier from this particular time slot, they know much, much better because they knew a simplistic security models which doesn't exist today. Windows 10. How easy is it to hack Windows 10? How many of you have antiviruses in your system? Please raise your hands. It is nothing to shy about. You have not committed a sin or something. Come on, guys. How many of you have antiviruses in your system? And these guys are Windows 10 users. Yes? Yes? Yes. And rest of the guys are on Windows 7? No? Windows 10 comes with by default something called as antivirus. It's called the Windows Defender. So you probably, everybody is using antivirus right now. How easy is it to bypass an antivirus? No? It is very easy. Very easy to bypass antiviruses. Antiviruses are dumb piece of software which can be bypassed with ease. And there goes your privacy out of the picture. Let's say I am sitting in sitting on my machine and I can compromise a botnet of 15,000 systems altogether. See, how do you want to make money? One is the hard work, the other one is a criminal's work. In the criminal side, what you can do is you can hack around 15,000 systems. Now, how do we do that? Even if I create a dummy application called the Facebook Hacker, which I know does nothing, I'll spread it on the internet, thousands of people will download it. They'll download, they'll execute, their computers become zombies, they'll connect to me. I instruct them to open one single page. That page gets opened, I get the money from Google. This is how people are making money. You seem suspicious about it. What happened? Second row? Yeah. You didn't like it? That how people are making money? Anyways. Okay, guys, so today we're going to see a demo. Okay? I'll also show you a small piece of, attack tool, which I have in my pocket right now. Can you see this? Anyone? Can you see this? Guys? Anybody can explain what it is? Very small chip. I'll show it to you guys. I'm coming downstairs. A very small chip, double the size of a thumbnail. A very small chip. What is it? Any idea? Who said? What? No, it's not a bad USB. It's something else. Bad USB, yes. For those who don't know, they can ignore that. No. Microprocessor. Microprocessor? Microcontroller. It's a microcontroller. Used to fly drones. Used to fly racing cars, smaller ones, toys. You can be used for anything. But will you be amazed when I tell you this is a keyboard? It's a keyboard. It's a keyboard. So let me tell you this. How does an antivirus work? It will detect any anomaly coming from a file, coming from a application which is malicious. Okay? But what if you program such a small keyboard which can be attached via a USB stick to your computer? Okay? Or what I can do is I can modify its design. I can put a USB plug-in just to make it look like a pen drive. Okay? I insert it. It presses all the keys so fast in 1 or 2 seconds that system gets hacked. And antivirus thinks that this piece of this is a legitimate action because a user must have performed it. Your antiviruses are bypassed. We'll see this demo. Okay? How a small keyboard can cause problems. What happens in colleges? Mostly your websites are banned, a lot of websites are banned, and let's say a virus comes into the picture, it is not able to connect outside. But your Dropbox works, your Mega account works, there are file sharing platforms, right? If you if you create a malware that makes use of Dropbox services, it will still bypass the antivirus. There are thousand of ways where we can attack different kind of infrastructure with ease, and antivirus is just left as a dumb piece of software running on that system. We talked about, Rakshit sir talked about a term called vulnerability assessments and penetration testing. Now what is it? Basically we scan systems. In a layman's language, it would be said that, okay, this is somebody pays us to break into their company so they can patch it so nobody else can break into it. Okay? And that thing got evolved. A new term came into the picture called the red teaming exercises. Now, what is a red teaming? Sounds like people are paint fences with red and they are like ninjas or stuff, right? But nothing of that sort. Red teaming is just like penetration testing, but real world attacks are sent. See, if I have to get into your college's network here, I don't know if it is your college or everyone is from this college only. Somebody has to come inside, just connect to a Wi-Fi and just spread malware. That's it. Have you ever seen a refrigerator getting hacked? It is. Refrigerators, ATM machines, washing machines, everything gets hacked these days. Smart washing machine, you know. It was so smart that it got hacked. Right? Everything on your infra is vulnerable. And I have been doing it for the last 8 to 10 years now. I have worked in the law enforcement, and let's say when we say there is a cyber war, there is a cyber war. The cyber war is not actually defacing each other's website. Let's say website get hacked and it is called a cyber war. No. The cyber war is maintaining access to those websites, gaining piece by piece information about what they are doing, what they are planning, what their plans are, downloading that stuff, bypassing antiviruses, so on and so forth. Do you know how much cybersecurity pays? If all of you are students, you must be looking at some packages when you are about to finish your engineering. And what is that? What are your expectations? Come on. What are your expectations, my friend? The shy one. Huh? What is your expectations in terms of package when you are about to finish your engineering or whatever course you are enrolled in?
Average, I think. You're saying that average amount.
What kind of amount are you looking at? Anybody else? 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs, bus, that's it. Now, let me tell you this. He is expecting 3 lakhs package. Package, in terms of a package, it means what I get is somewhere around 20 to 25K in hand per month. Yes. If you master cyber security, okay, which will at least take you 1.5 years on a specific subject like exploit development, one exploit gives you $2.5 million. And if you are in a doubt, if you think I'm lying, you can open a website called Zerodium, ZERODIUM.com, and see the payout of an Android bug. And those of my friends, there are few people who think iPhones are more secure than Android. Who are those guys? Please raise your hands. iPhones are more secure than Android phones. Come on, guys. What are you feeling? Sleepy or what? You think iPhones are more secure? Okay. There are two operating systems commonly used worldwide, Windows and Linux. Who are people who says Linux is more secure than Windows? Linux is more secure than Windows. Okay. And how many do you say Windows is more secure than Linux? Only one. Okay. Hacking Windows will give you a lot of more, monetary benefits in terms of costing and everything rather than Linux. But Windows is very tough to hack into. Hacking means exploiting, and that is very, very tough. Linux is fairly easier. Okay? So guys, coming back, what I'll show you now is here on the screen, I have one of my base machines. It's a Mac and OS X is running. I have a software running and I have a separate computer altogether right next to it. Okay? Now, how an attack works. Someone needs to execute something on the victim's machine and he should connect back to us. We'll see that demo now. Okay? And let me just give you a flavor of what we are looking at. We'll also see this device. If you want to see this device first, we can see that device first. Who wants to see this device working live in action? Everybody. Okay, let's see this device. Okay. How many of you actually think that they might be able to pursue cybersecurity after this conference? Very nice. Cyber ninjas, huh? Great. Okay, so what I have done is, I have already showed you one chip. I have another one here. It is already connected to an OTG cable. And I am simply gonna insert this device into this particular machine, which is a Windows 7. Okay? And we'll see what happens as soon as I plug this device in. I won't press any of the keys on my laptop or anything, okay? Just wait and see. Everything on its own. Did I press anything? Yes or no? Nothing. Everything. Now my keyboard is saying that, hi, this is your keyboard. Should I hack you today? If one action can be emulated, we can almost emulate anything. Now, if I want to, let's say, hack somebody, I simply have to supply this device. Now, how I can do that? Do you know, Amazon, if you go to a website, Amazon.com, Flipkart or anything, you get these small fans, USB fans. You can insert this device into that. Just ask a friend, okay, I need some air. Plug it in and he gets hacked. It's as simple as that. You can even do this with your phone. For those, anybody has this Google Nexus phone here? Google Nexus. No? You require a Google Nexus or a OnePlus. Now OnePlus would be there for sure. Yeah? Okay. OnePlus phone can be modified into a similar device which will actually press a lot of keys. Now the beautiful part is that antivirus thinks that it is us who is doing it, but it is not. It is a keyboard and it is programming it. Now what kind of script we were talking about? Suppose we are instead of doing this on a notepad, okay? What we do is, this is a hacker's terminal if you have not seen it yet. This is how, you must have seen these kind of screens before. When we talk about cyber security, these colors, the green and the black are pretty common, right? But believe me, I tell you, this is just for the fun and just to show off basically, okay? There is absolutely nothing to do with the colors and stuff. It is just, we prefer more white on black rather than, green on something. It is just a way to showcase. Now, how cybersecurity conferences are different than other conferences? Do you know? No. Well, you'll come to know. Okay, guys. So basically, what I'll do is, see, guys, you don't have to understand this. You just look into it and see what's happening. Okay. No need to understand the tech part of it if you're not getting it. Okay. But what I am going to show you is, I'll get a command running something from here. Okay. So let's say I do a run. I get this particular command. Okay. And all I do now is to supply this command to this particular user of this particular machine. Either I can convince him to do that, I can do this. Let's say, how do I, now you will ask me a question that nobody will actually run this particular command if I give it to them. Obviously, will you run or will you? Nobody, right? We can actually use this command in a document file, in a PPT file, in an Excel sheet, and we can send it across to somebody. As soon as he double clicks, he gets hacked. So we are skipping that part about the doc and Excel. What we'll do here is we'll simply paste this command here, and we simply wait for it. Something has happened. And that something is we gained access to that complete machine, Windows 7, here itself. Complete access within one command. Any one command is all it takes to hack a Windows operating system. And this same command will work on Windows 10, 8, 8.1, everywhere, bypassing most of the antiviruses which are out there. But if you want to understand that how these commands are bypassing stuff, you have to read cybersecurity. And that is the agenda. If you want to jumpstart your career in cybersecurity, learn about vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, Windows exploit development, reverse engineering, binary exploitation, and so on. How we can see that we have actually hacked this machine? Let's say I can simply interact with this. I want to capture the current screen of that particular system. Okay. So what I can do is I can write in screen, take a screenshot for a screenshot command, followed by V and true. And you got a screenshot of that computer system, that what were the user doing at that particular time. We got a screenshot of that. We can get his files, we can download his content, we can do possibly anything. We can listen to his mic, we can record his web camera, everything. So do you want, now a basic question to you guys. Do you want to get into cybersecurity because you want to hack someone? Or do you want to get into cybersecurity to help the nation? Help the nation. And how we can do that? Obviously, there are a lot of organizations, like Sir mentioned, NTRO is there. Then DCA's Defense Cyber Agency is coming up right now. Then there is IB. Then there is RAW. There are so many different organizations, and I have trained these guys on some cutting-edge topics. Okay, this is basically how hacking takes place. Malicious links gets into the picture. You know that there are characters like A, B, C, D, alphabets, which are not actually English characters. Guys, let's say how phishing takes place. Now, most of the people say that you look at the address bar, it will be some anomaly, so on and so forth. But there are attackers in all these years have become so sophisticated that they started using characters from other language which looks like, let's say we talk about Google. So G looks like a particular character in Kazakh language. And they'll replace it with G, which will actually, when you will see that link, you will see it is Google, but it is not. That kind of hacking is taking place. Your mobile phones are being monitored. Okay? Either, so if you want to pursue cybersecurity, do it today. Otherwise, let's say if you will wait for next 1, 2, 3, 4 years, then that would be a lost cause. Because it will become so much more complex that absolutely, even grasping the basics would be very difficult. So guys, I just want to run you through a PPT and then I won't bore you more, okay? So guys, just running through the PPT quickly, you know about myself, right? And like I said, security research in 95s was very easy. Then in 2003, it became easy. And all these years, it has become insane, right? Now, these are the cybersecurity professionals over these years when they were working on these particular operating systems. Windows XP was a happy case because it was easy to hack. One command, nobody has to click anything to get hacked, and very easy, so on and so forth. But as soon as we came into the other pictures, like Windows XP Service Pack 3, Windows 7, 8, 8.1, and 10, things became very difficult. So we discussed today malicious executables, Trojans. Now, what was a Trojan we discussed today? Any idea? Hey guys, Trojans. What is a Trojan? Trojan is a horse. What then? See guys, a Trojan is something that gives you the access. The script, the small script we created, which was used on the Windows 7, was the Trojan itself. Okay? It downloaded a further Trojan and gave us the access. Can you see the screen? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So before I complete, there is a fun fact for you guys to understand. We did this our programmable keyboard. So it's basically a keyboard with a coupled in processor that used. And do you know the cost of this hacking device? The small chip. US, there is a company in US called Hack5. Hack, H-A-K, 5, that sells this device for around $99, which roughly cost around 6,000 rupees. I designed this same piece of chip under 90 rupees. Okay? This is basically a Arduino. If you can write, if you want to do this, it is very easy. Okay, you just have to write in what keys you want to press and just write it in a form of a program, and that is it. Any actions can be emulated. Anything you want to download, you want to upload, you want to hack into, break into, you can do that. Okay? So this was the chip. Pros and cons, we have seen that. Now, fun fact is this. Did you know that 80% of the people use their mobile device while they are in the bathroom? So if the malware and the hackers do not get to you, the germs may. Okay? So this is a fun fact. Along with that, it's a add-on fun fact to this that the guy says, back in my day, you didn't need a smartphone to go to poop. Okay, guys? So this was it about the offensive side of things in security. Any questions you would like to ask, please feel free and let me know. Come on. You guys are so blank right now. What's up? Come on, guys. Yep.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, actually, I saw you using a Metasploit. So while working in Metasploit, recently I heard a concept like steganography. So the thing that steganography means, I think so, it's hiding something in some other file formats. So is there any possibilities to hide a payload in photography to get access to some
Image.
other companies. Yeah, it's an image.
Yes.
Can I?
There is a concept called the polygraphs and the polyglots. Okay? You need to learn that. It will create a image that will look like an image, but as soon as you double click, image will run and side by side the payload will run. Okay?
Yeah, sir.
And I cannot actually remember the tool's name, but you can shoot me a mail and I can send it across. No issues.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah.
Sir, you said about the red team, sir.
Red team, yeah.
What's the difference between pen testing and red team, sir?
Pen testing and red team. Great question, and glad you asked it. Vulnerability assessments and penetration testing is about finding every single vulnerability in an infrastructure, a website, a server, or anything you are testing. The coverage is important, okay? But in red teaming, everything goes out of the picture. You don't have to cover all the vulnerabilities. One vulnerability is all you need to break in. That gets you inside the network. So the main difference is that coverage is not at all important in red teamings. Okay? And it will emulate, let's say, if you want to hack a website, somebody's website, some state sponsored or something like that, a malicious terrorist organization, so on and so forth. A real world attack will not give you cross-site scripting bugs or something of low of that sort. You will make use of remote code executions, vulnerabilities which are crazy in nature, which will actually get you inside the network. Okay? So the focus is offensive. So the focus is to break inside, not just to gather vulnerabilities of all sorts. Maintaining anonymity is important in red teaming. Maintaining a low profile. Let's say you cannot just bombard that network with a bunch of packets and create a DOS-like situation. But you have to maintain a very low profile, very small, updates or packets you have to send to that particular website. So that is basically the difference between a red teaming and a VAPT. Anything else? Social engineering becomes a very important part in red teaming. That, hey guys, you remember there are so many phishing mails you receive that you have won a lottery, you have won this, somebody died in Africa and left you $100,000, so on and so forth. But all these years, what has changed is emails have become very sophisticated. You know what happened was Gmail. Every single email provider was there, and how people actually tracked that this is the IP address of this particular guy, they used to track a very small 1 by 1 pixel, 1 by 1, that small image into your email. As soon as you read it, your IP gets logged and is sent back. Gmail came up with this crazy idea that every image will go through a proxy. And they killed almost every single thing that was used to, figuring people out. So the point is, things became very, very sophisticated over these years. Okay? The social engineering piece has moved from emails to social media. People are now contacting you over Facebook, Telegram, LinkedIn. You know how the DRDO thing get leaked? The DRDO missile details got leaked, and they were gathered by the ISI of Pakistan from India. They offered him a job. Posing themselves as Canadians, and they asked that what were the projects you were earlier working on. So he sent out that details and leaked the important classified information from the government. Things have moved on to social media now. Okay? Make sure you run the internet, you do anything on the internet, make sure you take all the precautions. A good antivirus, yes, there are a lot of antiviruses. A good antivirus will give you a basic security from random attacks. A targeted attack will never be you cannot circumvent a targeted attack no matter what. Okay? 90% of the attacks will be mitigated by Kaspersky, Bitdefender, Kihu 360. These are the antivirus you should look at when you are trying to protect yourself. Use a VPN to access the internet. VPN are as cheap as 60 rupees per month. I guess you can afford that, right? 60 rupees is quite less. You can use that and you can mitigate a lot of attacks as well. Okay. Any further questions? Yeah. We can take it offline, I guess, because most of the people doesn't have questions and they might be hungry or something. It is already 1:15. Yeah. I know you guys are sitting here from 9:30. Okay. So I understand your feeling. I have been a student myself. I was 7 years in college. My college is lovely professional university, LPU. I did my diploma, BTech, MTech, everything from there itself. Once I entered into the college, I never went out, basically, for 7 years, okay? So I understand your feeling. Most of the people are getting bored. They have nothing to do with cyber security. And tomorrow when they'll get hacked, they'll send me a message on Facebook saying, sir, my email ID got hacked. Rakshit sir receives a lot of message that, most of the images are, my images has been leaked. What should I do? My email account has been hacked. How can you basically, put password easy as, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or passwords at 1, 2, 3 and admin at 1, 2, 3. I checked into the hotel last night and he gave me the password. He said, sir, this is your password. And I still have it in my pocket. It says admin at 1, 2, 3. So I, being a cybersecurity professional, I didn't connect to my room. I connected to somebody else's. Okay, and just sniffed their data, just looking around what they are doing or what they are not, which is not ethical, by the way. I can be charged for that, but provided you have the proof. I can be charged with similar. Every one of us who are into cybersecurity has someday or the other has done some cyber crime for sure. Talking about myself, I must have done cyber crimes which can land me into jail for the next 50,000 years or so. Okay, so I won't be, I will be free. Yeah. I will be free from the circle of life and death. Moksh prapati. Okay, in one go. Okay, guys. So this was the talk. I hope if you have any questions, we can take it offline. Okay. So thank you, guys. Thank you. Cheers. If you want to. Bus. Don't get serious, huh? If you want to get into cybersecurity, you can please feel free to connect. Okay, I can definitely recommend you some of the international courses and stuff. I don't do training, but my organization does, and they are pretty good. Just in case if you are looking at some sort of guidance or anything, please feel free to get into contact. Okay, thank you guys. Take care.